All right, in this section, guys, we're going to be talking about situational play calling at the end of halves. So, again, this game here is going to be versus Young Kiv. This was at a offline event in Madden 19. Um, again, here I'm going to be in a situation where again I'm down three. I have the ball with 3 minutes, 1 minute 20 seconds. Now, again, this is where a lot of Madden players lose games. Serious Mo once said it best on a call. More likely, you're 10 times more likely to lose a game here at the end of half than you are to win a game. So, again, it's really important to take your time here at the end of half and don't rush it and don't feel like you have to get a big play here. Again, it's really a lot of Madden players make the mistake of trying to get a big play here, and that ends up, they end up throwing a pick here at the end of half. Again, really tricky situation here on offense. So, again, only be careful, be really careful in these situations because again, it is really easy to lose a game here. And I'm going to show you guys an example here. So again, this is one of the best Madden players in the world. Noah up next. Make sure to check out his Twitch channel. And again, this is a really recent example. Again, this is from yesterday. So he's in the Players Lounge tournament for his Ghost, who again is also one of the best players. Again, Noah is at his own 25 here, 3 timeouts. Again, he has to really go 35 yards here for him to be in field goal range. And again, people always make this mistake here. They rush here. They feel like they have to, pick up the big gain here. They feel like they're running out of time. And really, they don't have to. Like, they can just live to fight another down, move on to the next half. Again, it's so much harder to make a good play here than it is. Well, I should say it's so easy to make a bad decision in these situations. A lot of players get greedy here. Again, you guys are gonna see it here. Again, Noah's gonna take a risk here, throw a kind of crossbody here to his running back here, and again, it's just gonna get picked off again. It's just, I guess sometimes like when you feel like the clock is kind of ticking down, you feel like you kind of got to rush and get that big play, but really you don't. You got the game, in your control. It's a tie game. You do not have to force anything here. It's much easier to lose a game here than it is to win a game here, every time. So again, he ends up throwing a pick here, and Ghost is able to get down at the 1 and kick the 3, and this ended up being the decision, in the game. And I wanted to show this because again, this was just yesterday, and again, this is two of the best players playing. Again, that's a lot of times a difference in this game. And then, what? Noah ends up. Guess what? He ends up losing the game by 3. Whereas if he had, not done that, Noah would have won this game. So again, it's so easy to lose a game in those situations. Again, you do not need to rush it there. You don't need to force a passer. Move on to that next half. Again here, so I'm in a similar situation. Obviously, I have a lot more time, but again, I'm gonna take my time. So again, think of it like this. So again, you got to go 35 yards. About 35 yards will get me to the 40, right? So don't just try to design a play that'll get you 25, 35 yards, because again, you got to think through the defensive player's perspective. Again, they're looking to protect deep. They know that you have to go 35 yards. So again, they're most likely, in this situation, especially with the lead, they're going to be backed off, playing over the top coverage. Again, they don't want to give up the deep play here. That's what everyone's worried about on defense here. That's what the defensive psychology here is. It's protect deep, protect deep. So again, what's that going to leave you? It's going to leave you that underneath option. And again, as I said, don't think of it when you need 35 yards here. Don't think of trying to design a one play 35-yard play. Instead, think like think of it like you need 5 plays to get 7 yards each. Again, that makes it a lot more manageable. Think of it like if you're trying to plan your week out or something like that, and you're trying to plan for something, or no, let's say like you have like a big homework assignment or a big project due. Again, you don't just want to do it all in like 3 hours. Again, it's not going to end up being a good project. Again, you want to break it up into manageable tasks. Do some on Monday, research on Monday, maybe write the first paragraph on Tuesday, on Wednesday, write out several paragraphs. And again, everybody crams, but again, it's always going to be a lot better when you break it up into more manageable tasks. Again, that's what you want to do here in this situation. Again, isn't it much more manageable to again, back to the project, isn't it much more manageable to space it out over a week? Break it up in the even task throughout the week, and then instead of just trying to cram it all in like 5 hours, again, it's just so stressful, and you don't want to do that. Um, Whereas again, in this situation, break it up into small manageable tasks. So again, think of it like you need 5 7 yard plays at a time. And again, if you think of it like that, it's like shit. That's nothing. Only 5 7 yard plays. I can do that. And especially in a situation like this too, where you have 3 timeouts. So again, you can on 3 of the 5 plays, you can call timeout and completely stop the clock. Um, and then you have still like 120, for 2 plays there. Um, so again, try to break it up. Try to make it more manageable. And again, it's gonna be a lot easy. It's gonna be easy to do that too, because again, you got to think from their perspective. They're dropping back here. Again, they don't want to give it the big play here. So again, it's gonna leave open the underneath in these situations. And I can say myself, I'm perfectly fine with giving up an underneath pass here. And again, you got to be willing to take those and kind of work the sidelines. It's important to try to get out of bounds here. Take the underneath and get out of bounds. Again, almost everyone is going to be willing to give that up in this situation, so you got to take it. Again, here I'm just bringing it up in the manageable task. I know I got plenty of time here. He was spreading his line here because again, Kid doesn't expect me to run the ball here because he feels like he has time on his side. So, but again, I know that I feel like I have plenty of time. Again, I'm just breaking up into a small manageable task. I know I don't have to get it all in one play. Again, here I actually do take a shot here, and I did notice something in his defense, where I felt like I was going to be able to bomb him deep. So again, in a situation like that too, if you have those 2 timeouts, it is fine to take 1 or 2 shots, but or mainly 1 shot. But again, overall though, try to kind of work the underneath game. And again, sometimes if you are kind of working them underneath a lot, you can kind of take that shot. Or if you notice something, that's perfectly fine. But for the most part, try to work it underneath. Again, I'm going to do that here in the 3rd and 7. You're going to see that, again, I have a lot of underneath options on the field. I got this quick out route, and I got this kind of drag and this mini crosser over the middle of the field. So it's like I'm not trying to just get a 1 play touchdown here. I'm not just trying to get it 30-yard gain. I'm fine with working the intermediate part of the field here. And again, you gotta be willing to take your underneath here, because that's what's going to be open in these situations most of the time. Again, sometimes if you see something like I did, that's fine to take that shot. But again, just know that most of the time it's not going to be there, and you got to kind of work underneath, and try not to go outside of your main plays really, and stay true to what you've been doing most of the game. Take the underneath, try to get out of bounds, and call your normal plays. Don't try to to speed up in this. Don't speed up in this situation. So again, here I know that I only need like, I would say like 7 yards here or so, 8 yards here, and I have 50 seconds left, no timeouts. But again, I know that I don't have to rush it here, so I can run the ball here. He's spreading his D line, so again, I know that I'm gonna have a couple plays here to get just 7 or 8 yards. So running here is fine, and I actually do basically almost get up in the field goal range. And in a situation like this, where I think like the max you can kick from is like 58 or 59, and with 38 seconds left, and this was Madden 19, so there's no runoff. So again, I'm gonna have time to do a 2 or 3 plays here. And I know that kind of fullback diving, or I know that I can kind of get guaranteed yards here with a run, because he hasn't shown me that he can blow up the run. So there's no need to pass the ball here. Again, I know that I have a couple plays to run here before the clock runs out, before I can kind of kick my field goal. So again, I'm perfectly running here is fine. Just get your guaranteed yards. Just try to fall forward. And honestly, even too, like I could have came out on like something like goal line, like fullback dive, or something like fullback dive or quarterback sneak. But again, I'm gonna run again here. Again, there's no need to pass here. If you pass here and get sacked, you're out of field goal range. So you 1,000% want to run the ball in this situation. Again, just maintain your field goal at this point. And again, kind of the lesson here again from this is, you know, take your shot here. If you see that opportunity given to you, you can take one shot. But again, for the most part, you got to kind of know the psychology of the defensive player here, and kind of what you would be thinking, what everyone in the room would be thinking. When you got to go 40 yards in about a minute. So again, everyone's gonna be thinking to protect deep. So again, you don't gotta rush it and just try to go design plays to go deep. You can stay true to your normal plays and just kind of stay patient and work your way up the field slowly.